Tell me a funny story or situation involving you.
Funny story. Oh shit, yeah, funny story. So, 2014, I flew out to Malta for my 2014, 2015. I was in graduate school. I flew out to Malta for a good friend of mine. Malta, yes, the Maltese island in the Mediterranean. So I flew out to Malta for my good friend Emily's wedding. You know, I love that girl. Emily, shout out to you. Um, I went there with one of my best friends. Malta's a beautiful island, small island, super dope. It has pockets of different cultures, right? Um, so you will see like a Cuban restaurant. You will see an Italian restaurant. Popeye, the actual cartoon character, descends from Malta. And if you ever read Homer's Odyssey, there's a lot of the Greek islands that are adjacent to that, and there's a 45-minute ferry that takes you to Sicily from there. So just a few nuggets about the Maltese island. So the night of the bachelor party, I went to a club in Pashaville. So Pashaville is the strip, right? That's where all the clubs are located in Malta. So I got into a fight with a midget.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at little people. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've been wanting to tell this story for a while. Actually, I was gonna do a docu sort of setup to tell the story. So I met some young ladies from Switzerland, right, at the bar we were at, just hanging out. They heard me speak Spanish, and so they said hello, and I said hello. So we started talking. So the two young ladies, I introduced them to my friends, or it was like maybe 6 of us. And mind you, everyone in my party was over 6 feet, right? There was not one short guy there. In fact, my best friend, David, is 6'6", so he's a pretty tall dude, right? So they shifted a bit, so I stayed with the young ladies, talking, asking them about their stay, what they were doing, and so forth. So everyone goes to Malta because Malta is where most of the kids from Europe come in to study English. Okay. So you have kids from Italy. That's like the hub to come in and study English. So they'll do a year there, and then they'll go back to the respective countries. So so as I'm there, talking to these young ladies, one of them like sort of tapped me and said, "Hey, can you save me?" Because there was this guy like dancing behind her and grabbing her, right? So with me growing up with sisters, I always find it that I always want to protect them, right? If I find a woman that is in a situation that she shouldn't be, I always try to like intervene because of my upbringing and being around my sisters. I was always overprotective about over them. So naturally, I reacted and I sort of like brought her in, and I told the guy then I realized that it was a midget, and I told the guy, "Hey, listen, she's with me. She's not really interested in dancing with you, respectfully, right?" So this little shit decided to throw his drink at me, man. Like he throw his drink lands on my face.
But how did he throw it?
He just just tossed it, yeah, man. So I got I got tight. I was upset, man.
Oh, man.
So naturally I looked at him. I'm like, yo, why would you do that? And then he.
I'm sorry, because anybody else doesn't get the why would you do that? Go ahead.
So and he's like vividly upset that I sort of ruined his freaking Mac. And then he charges at me, right? So I grabbed him, I lift him up from the floor, and I threw him over the bar, right? The crazy shit about this story is that, as I tossed him over the bar, the little shit landed on his feet. It was fucking nuts, bro. So he lands on his feet,
oh, shit.
Jumps over, and charges at me again. Right? He's like, and then another thing about him, he was wearing a turban. So he was from the Middle East, whatever, and so as he's charging towards me, I picked him up again. I told him that he needed to stop. I said, yo, you need to stop. And he's like, talking to me in his tongue. And I say, dude, you need to stop. I'm going to hurt you. So he kicks me. So I punched him in the face and I threw him on the ground and I started to stump that ass.
Oh This is fucked up.
Yeah, so, you know, of course, like everyone see the commotion, the bouncers sort of converge. He's there with two other guys. They come at me, so I squared up. Now my friends see the action, so I'm here like I'm just like thumping, right? I'm just.
How much thumping did you do?
Well, I didn't. I personally, you know, normally when someone grabs you when you're in the middle of a fight, I don't play that. Don't grab me. Don't touch me, right? Because I don't know who's gonna come in and sucker punch me or stab me or whatever. So I don't appreciate when people grab me. So when one of his friends grabbed me, or after the fact I realized it was his friend, he didn't want to smoke. But I had already, like, I grabbed him, I grabbed his arm, and I flipped him over. Again, like, you know, I know self-defense. And he clearly didn't want it. He's like, no, I'm trying to stop it. So I got escorted out of the club, naturally, of course. And I was told not to come back again.
Not everybody has that story.
You know, and so did the little guy and his peers. They were also escorted out. So we sort of, like, you know, saw each other outside, but he was clearly exhausted. He was from all the stumping.
Shit.
Yeah, man. So that's the funny story for you. But he started that shit.
You finished it.
Pretty much.
Fucked up. Okay. Tell me of a situation you thought was dangerous and you thought you might not get out safe.
Shit, man. A situation that I thought was dangerous, I might not get out safe. Well, this is a story that evokes my my pops. So my dad and I would take these road trips to Honduras, right? So he would like load up an 18-wheeler and load it with people's like stuff that they were sending to their loved ones, and we would drive from New York City to Honduras. So we're talking about an 8 to 7 day drive.
You can drive to Honduras?
Yeah, you can drive to Honduras. So we would take this trip. So I remember, so normally the process was as follows. Like when we get to Texas, Pops will go out. You know, in Texas, all you need is a driving license to buy a weapon, right? So Pops will go out and buy guns, make sure he has enough rounds just in case shit happens, right? And we had someone, you know, and the 18-wheeler would be a 3. So I normally be in the back, sleeping in the little bed that that it has. And then my Gustavo, who's my Pops' cousin, was the driver. Pops was like the passenger, and they would like just take turns, whatever. So we made it to Guatemala. You know, the coyotes escort you from Texas. Like once you cross the border in El Paso, they'll escort you from there to a checkpoint, so you get another coyote, because you pay people along the way, because they'll jack you or take your merchandise. Okay. So it's a hustle. It's a fucking hustle. So when we made it to Guatemala, the coyotes, we had already parted ways. Everything was quote unquote safe. So we came across a group of guerrilleros. So these are like militia individuals, right? So they had like these fucking cannons and guns, and I think Gustavo had taken the wrong road, and we had to do a U-turn. So Pops got out to sort of like direct them, because there was limited visibility because of the trees and so forth. And these guys, the first thing is that these guys come out the bushes and they're like guns out, and you know. So I thought it was over, right? Like I'm there, like I'm looking out the window. I see my old man outside, and he's pale, right? So he's like, "Hey, can we U-turn here?" The guy just nodded his head, like, you know, signaling no. And I just got in the car real fast, and fuck, I said fuck out. So we just kept going straight. So that was a really scary moment, because you know nothing was set for a good period of time, because we knew how close to death.
Yeah, you're in another country where guerrilla units are just stopping people randomly. Shit.
Yeah, and I was what, maybe 13 at the time.
You was 13, and you seen your pops surrounded by guns. Yeah, that's gotta be scary.
Yeah, it was a scary moment.
Okay. What was your first relationship like?
Oh man, I thought it was gonna be forever, man. Again, I think for me, I was a kind of a late bloomer when it came to relationships, right? I think my first serious girlfriend, I was 17 years old. like serious, like girlfriend. Like, I had like, you know, girls here and there, but they
that
were
was
like,
the one you consider your first relationship.
that was like, yeah, that was like the girl that I was like, oh, my everything. You know what I'm saying?
So what was it like in comparison to what you thought your first real relationship would be like?
I mean, like that first relationship, or
Yeah.
like,
No, your first relationship. The one you said you consider your first relationship, like, you know, when you're a kid, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have a girlfriend. This is gonna be my like your relationship, but it's never what you think it's gonna be.
no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't what I thought it would be, you know, because you know, again, it was like it was ephemeral, right? It was a short relationship, right? At least for me. But you know, actually, as I went into it, I thought it was gonna be forever. I thought I was gonna marry this girl and have a family, and that was it, right?
Didn't work out.
Yeah. So it didn't work out. Definitely, I was devastated, man. I remember, like, I was super hurt. It took me a while to recover. I mean, it always takes me a while to recover from relationships. Period. At the end, you know, I'm not even gonna front.
But that's a result of you actually caring about the person.
I do, man. I don't really go into situations unless I really care about people, because I really don't like to waste people's time, and I have to really like the person to bring them into my circle, because I'm super sheltered, you know, about, you know, who I sort of let in my circle.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like the more people know about you, the easier they can hurt you.
Yeah.
So I try to protect my feelings as best possible. So I'm super selective of who can enter my sort of emotional circle, right? Because a lot of people tend to violate that, you know, in a moment of anger, frustration, especially seeing what I saw, like, you know, growing up amongst friends and peers and so forth. So you tend to learn from what you see around you. But yeah, man. So she went to college, and she wrote me. She wanted to just call me and told me that she wasn't feeling it, and that was it. And
you're heartbroken.
I was fucking devastated, dude.
Oh.
I remember, like, you know, it's crazy, like, you asked that question, because I remember, like, at the time I was like 17. I had like maybe $4,000 stashed up. I told her that I was saving. I was a kid. I was always hustling. I had like $4,000 stashed. I took that money, and I was just spending that shit reckless. I was out there
just blowing it, getting your mind off of this situation.
Yeah, man. I went out. I bought like a fucking like a $2,000 chain. And like, I was like, you know, actually I got robbed. I got, you know, a gunpoint and shot at for that dumb shit. And then I was actually like giving my friends like, oh, let me buy you a pair of sneakers, like doing like dumb shit just to sort of like forget.
All behind the first relationship.
Yeah.
All behind heartbreak.
Yeah.
You got robbed behind heartbreak.
Yeah.
Your friends profited a couple dollars off of heartbreak. Heartbreak could do a lot of weird things.
I didn't know how to take it. I didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about it to my parents. I didn't talk about it to anyone. You know, I internalized a lot of it.
You know, beat somebody's ass in martial arts.
Yeah, at the time,
you ever apologize to the first person you whooped after the breakup? Like, yo, this ain't for you.
Nah, never. No, I never did that. You know, yeah.